Assalamualaikum and hi. Today, our group will be presenting our assignment that compares the two major retirement schemes in Malaysia. The first one is Government Servant Pension Scheme. The second one is Private Sector Employee Provident Fund. First and foremost, let me introduce to you our group members. Ali Shashana binti Abdul Rashid, Nurul Humaira Alia binti Muhammad Yusof, Christina Hakim binti Ibnu Hakim, Amy Shahrina binti Mor Amran, and Ilya Asifa binti Amir. Next, we will introduce to you our sample A, which is a government servant, and sample B, which is a private sector employee. For sample A, she is named Nur Shafawati and she is 38 years old. Her job is an accountant and she earns 5,800 per month. Her salary increment rate is 225 per year. And she has a few savings outside of her pension. Her current monthly living expenses amount to 2,500. For sample B, he is named Muhammad Akif and he is 29 years old. His job is an agronomist and a consultant. His current monthly salary is 4,366.60 cents. His salary increment rate is 5% per year. He also has a few savings outside of his pension, and his current monthly living expenses amount to 2,580.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm going to continue the presentation with the pension calculation. The first part of this calculation is to calculate the final retirement income. So, as Mrs. Nurul received a salary increment of 225 ringgit per year, the calculation must begin at year 0 with her current salary, which is RM 5,800, and continue to aid until year 22 years, as Mrs. Nurul is now 38 years old and expected to retire at 60. The calculation came out to be that the last round salary monthly for Mrs. Nurul is 10,750 ringgit, and annually it will be 129,000 ringgit. Next is the estimated monthly pension, which is half of the last round salary that we calculate monthly, which will be 5,375 ringgit, and times it by 12, we will get the APF amount, which is 64,500 ringgit. Next part is to find the estimate retirement needs and retirement gap. Retirement needs is considered to be 70%, as Mrs. Nurul's goals is to live a comfortable life during her retirement years. So 70% out of her last round annual salary, which is 129,000 ringgit, is going to be 90,200 ringgit. And to calculate the lump sum that she needs during her retirement, considering the inflation rates, we estimate the inflation rates to be 4% and rate of return 5%. With this considered, the calculation came out to be 1,651,570 ringgit. And during her retirement years, the calculation for value of pension fund at retirement age are 844,003 ringgit. With this, the retirement gaps are assumed to be 807,567 ringgit. However, as a government worker, Mrs. Nurul received a retirement gratuity of 241,875 ringgit. After taking that into consideration, the retirement gap will lessen and came out to be 565,692 ringgit. And that's it from me. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Amy Shahrina binti Muhammad Amran and I will present about the EPF calculation. This slide presents a detailed explanation of the projected retirement income calculation for a private sector based on the Employee Provident Fund or EPF assumption. This calculation begins with the determination of the individual current income, which is derived from a monthly income of 7,726 ringgit and $1.60, resulting in the annual income of approximately 92,790 ringgit. This amount represents the baselines of income before accounting for the future economic changes, and also this is to assume to reflect the individual standards of living. To estimate the income required at the retirement age, this annual income is projected forward over a 28,000 until retirement for this sample by incorporating the long-term economic factors, which is a 5% annual salary increment is assumed to reflect the career progression and also income growth, while a 4,000 annual for the inflation rate is applied to account for the rising cost of living for this sample over the time. After adjusting with the inflation, the future annual income required at the retirement age is estimated to be approximately 268,036 ringgit, which is this figure represent the level of income needed for the sample at the retirement age to maintain the same purchasing power and also his lifestyle as today. Overall, based on this analysis, it highlights the significant impact on the inflation and also for the income growth on the retirement planning, and also underscore the importance of EPF accumulation to meet the long-term needs after retirement. Okay, for this slide, this analysis includes that the estimated retirement needs for the private sector employee when the annual income is properly adjusted for the inflation and also multiplied for the expected duration on the retirement years. Based on the calculation, the inflation adjusted annual income as required is 268,036 ringgit. When this amount is projected over the expected retirement period of assume that the sample is after retirement is 23 years, the total lump sum required for the retirement is 6,394,828 ringgit. However, the individual's assistant retirement asset at the retirement is only 74,530 ringgit. As a result, this is a significant on the retirement gap from the 6 million, indicating that the current savings are far from the significant to sustain the desired standards of living throughout his retirement. This finding clearly highlights that the need a stronger retirement planning, higher his EPF contributions, and also he need to additional investment strategy to close the gap and also for ensure the long-term financial security after his retirement. Thank you.
Now, moving on into the next section, which is comparison analysis, let's look into the advantages of government pension scheme. Firstly, in terms of stability, pension schemes are well known for their high income stability. Therefore, it is much advantageous. Under the government pension scheme, a retiree can plan and predict their future expenses with a sense of safety and confidence. Compared to EPF, government pension schemes guarantee monthly income after retirement. Secondly, in terms of medical support, government pension schemes will benefit more from government healthcare facilities at a low and minimal cost. This would significantly reduce any medical expenses after retirement. Thus, pensioners do not need to rely on their personal savings or insurance. The third advantage is in terms of sustainability. The government pension scheme is deemed to be more sustainable as a retiree does not need to worry about their retirement savings or the risk of running out of money. The responsibility of funding and managing the pension lies within the government. This allows retirees to maintain their standard of living and to survive financially during retirement without the worry of exhausting their retirement as a lump sum. The government pension scheme, in terms of risk exposure, on the other hand, helps retirees to lower financial risk compared to EPF, which makes it more advantageous. Pension income is guaranteed for life and is paid monthly, which reduces the risk of running out of money. However, one major risk that is faced by the government servants after retirement is inflation risk. This is because pensions are fixed and they do not increase with the rising living costs. Next, the disadvantages of government pension scheme. Looking into sustainability also, the first disadvantages that is seen in terms of sustainability is that the government pension scheme depends heavily on the government. As the number of retirees increase, the life expectancy age also increases. More people will rely on the public funds. Although this does not directly affect the current pensioners, it raises concerns and still may affect the long-term sustainability of the scheme in the future. The second disadvantage is in terms of inflation impact. The one major limitation of the government pension scheme is its exposure to inflation risk. This is because pensions are generally fixed and they do not automatically increase with the rising living costs. This means that although inflation increases, the pension does not increase. As years pass and the inflation rate rises, this may reduce the real value of the pensioner's income.
Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Sila Asifa binti Amir and my metric number is 20247671. Today I will be discussing about the advantage and also disadvantage of the EPF and its comparison with pension scheme by focusing on the key factors such as inflation impact, sustainability, stability, medical support and also risk exposure. So first, let's begin with the inflation impact. One significant advantage of EPF is its ability to better handle inflation. Unlike the pension scheme which offer fixed payment, EPF returns are based on investment in a diverse range of assets like stock, government bond and more. This allows EPF to potentially generate higher return than inflation by helping to protect and grow saving over time. So next, moving on to the sustainability, EPF have a strong advantage in this part because since it's managed by the Malaysia government, so EPF sustainability is guaranteed. Both employer and also employee are required to contribute a portion of their salary into the EPF account, ensuring a consistent flow of funds. This mandatory contribution allows the EPF fund to grow steadily over the time and ensure that the future remain accessible for the retired in the future and contributing to long-term financial stability. Now look at the stability. A key disadvantage of EPF is that it does not provide a guaranteed fixed monthly income like pension scheme. EPF allow withdrawal either in a lump sum or in stage, which make financial planning for retirement more challenging. The amount you can withdraw depends on the performance of investment, which fluctuates based on the market condition. This means that the EPF is less reliable and predictable compared to the pension scheme, which offer fixed payment. Next, we have medical support. Unfortunately, EPF does not provide any medical assistance or benefit unlike pension scheme that may offer healthcare coverage. EPF withdrawal can be used for medical emergency, but there are no ongoing medical support system in place. Additionally, retirees rely on EPF for their healthcare may face financial strain as healthcare costs rise with age. The lack of an organized medical support system for EPF retirees can create financial instability, particularly for those who rely on EPF for their retirement needs. Lastly, let's discuss about the risk exposure. Since EPF performance is tied to the market condition, poor market performance will result in lower EPF return. Additionally, if the return do not exceed the inflation rate, retirees may face the risk of reduced purchasing power. For retirees who depend on EPF as their primary sources of income during retirement, this presents a serious concern as they may not have the financial cushion they need. That's all from me. Thank you.
So next is the recommendation. Based on the calculation of the pension scheme, it can be seen that the annual pension of Nurul amounted to 64,500 ringgit, which seemed to be insufficient to fully meet her estimated lump sum retirement needs. So due to the insufficiency, it showed that there is a big retirement income gap. So there are a few recommendations for Nurul to consider. First is takaful and health insurance. Nurul currently has no insurance coverage, so we suggest that she obtain a basic takaful coverage and medical or health insurance. So the takaful can benefit as a financial resource for Nurul to use in the future for a certain period of time, while the medical or health insurance will help to overcome any financial challenges due to the increasing healthcare costs. So these two will help reduce the possibility of unexpected financial risk during the retirement. So next is strengthening the emergency saving. Looking at the profile, Nurul's current saving in Tabung Haji and Unit Trust. So it is recommended that she can boost her emergency saving. So this provides a financial cushion that helps her to save money and be prepared, as Nurul now has a financial cushion that can maintain her long-term financial goal while avoiding the burden of debt and loan. It is proven that increasing systematic saving will help close the retirement gap. So finally, Nurul has an existing investment of 36,000 ringgit in the private retirement scheme. So we recommend that she enhance her PRS contribution, which provide tax relief and allow her to choose from various low-risk funds, aligning with her low-risk tolerance. So this situation proved that PRS can serve as an additional retirement buffer, which offer greater flexibility for spending and also expenses. So next, for the sample B, based on the calculation of the EPF, it can be seen that the accumulated EPF saving is insufficient to meet the estimated retirement needs for Akif. So first, Akif can increase EPF contribution. Akif EPF provide a consistent income and returns along with the tax benefits. So to further strengthen his retirement saving, we suggest that he can make a voluntary contribution, which is suitable given his lengthy investment horizon that can close the retirement gap. So consistent contribution will provide a steady return which can effectively act as an immediate financial relief. So next, Akif can diversify investment outside the EPF. So based on the profile, currently Akif only focuses on the personal savings such as ASB and Afin Bank. So we recommend that he diversify his retirement saving by investing in PRS. This approach will align with his medium risk tolerance and reduce the dependence on a single source of saving, as PRS is known as a voluntary long-term saving and moderate risk instrument. So last but not least, instead of the traditional lump sum withdrawal, Akif can adopt a structure of periodic withdrawals, as he can divide his EPF contribution into two components, which are retirement saving and also retirement pension. So this strategy will provide Akif the access of a portion of his fund while still receiving a steady income stream in retirement.